Alright, so this is the Binance platform where you do your buying and selling. This is the Binance platform where you do your buying and selling of any crypto assets that you want to buy or sell. So I'm just going to take a bit of time to explain some of the things we are seeing here so that we don't get confused as to what is what. So right here on my screen I have the Binance platform and I have a chart showing the BTC slash USDT pair, right? This is where you do the pair selection. As you can see, it has all different pairs that you can pick from, right? So that is that. So going beside it is where we have, oh, what's that one? Give me a minute please, I don't know. Going beside it is where we have what gives us the current price of the asset we are looking at. So like I mentioned earlier, we are looking at the BTC USDT chart. So this is the current price of Bitcoin as we speak, $50,000. Okay, 50,296. That's $50,000 and plus. So that's what tells you the current price of the asset you are trading. You can as well see it on your mobile phone. Now, this here indicating 24-hour change is what tells you the change in price over the last 24 hours, if Bitcoin has gained or appreciated in value or if it has declined in value. If it has declined in value in the last 24 hours, it will show you red and then minus the figure. So this here is showing you 24-hour high, tells you the highest price that Bitcoin has touched today. This is the highest price Bitcoin has touched today. The next one shows the lowest price that Bitcoin has touched today. Now the next one shows the volume, the total volume of Bitcoin that has been traded today, right? This one here now tells you the total volume in USDT. So this is the value in USDT for this amount of Bitcoin, right? So that is what this is. Please, if you can still hear me, indicate so that I'll know what happened yesterday is not repeating itself. Yesterday, a good lot of you were complaining that you couldn't hear what I was saying. So please use the message section to tell me that you can hear me, that I should carry on, so that I'll be sure that everyone is following with what we're doing. I'm not getting any message. Are you sure you guys are following? All right, Sulaiman, thank you for that. So so I've explained this section of the platform. I've explained what all these are, so you take note of that. So right here we have what we call the order book. Now the order book is like a ledger that records every buy and sell transaction that has been initiated in the markets. So every pair has its own. By pair I mean this is what we call pair. This is what we call pairing in the market. So this is BTC slash USDT pair. So it shows every transaction, both buy and sell orders that have been placed in the market for each pair, for any pair. So in this case we are talking about Bitcoin. So the ones that are in red is indicating the sellers, the people that are selling. The ones that are indicating in green are the people that are buying, right? So this is a marketplace where buyers and sellers meet. Now if you look very well, you'll be noticing different price movement, you'll be noticing the speed at which these things change. You'll be seeing different numbers. Some of you might be wondering what these numbers are. Right now, let's take from the seller section here. Now these are prices. These are prices for Bitcoin. Now this is the amount of Bitcoin that this person has placed an order to sell. Right, this is the total. So what this is saying is, now let's just indicate this as an example. Now imagine you go to the market, you want to buy tomato. Now when you get to the market, there are different market women selling tomato. You have 20 different women selling tomato. This one is saying, I'm selling my own at 1 naira. This one says she's selling her own for 3 naira. The next person is selling for 5 naira. The next person is selling for 20 naira. That is exactly how the order book is. So everybody here is selling Bitcoin at their different prices that they wish to sell it. The same thing happens on the buy section. Everyone here is buying Bitcoin at different prices that interest them to buy it. Right? So this one here shows us a kind of interjection in price between the buy and sell. Right? So you come here, if you want to buy, if let's say you want to buy Bitcoin, you come here and then you look at all these prices. You find out, madam, how much is your tomato? They say this is how much I'm selling. You say, okay, I'm buying from this person. Now when you select the price you want to buy, or the person you want to buy from, the price you have selected will appear on this section of the screen. If you're seeing what I'm pointing at, it will appear on this section. Now we have 5309. Now let me pick another price. You've seen it change, right? So this here is where you state the amount that you're willing to buy or sell for. This is the buy section, this is the sell section. So if you have USDT in your wallet, you want to buy Bitcoin, you want to buy Ethereum, you want to buy any asset, you use the buy section. Right, you enter the price you wish to buy the asset, and then you indicate, this indicator here is indicating the total value of USDT you have in your wallet with which you want to buy the Bitcoin. So you don't need to enter anything. Once you select the price, it's indicated in percentages. So you can decide that you want to use 5% of your funds, you want to use 10%, you want to use 15%, you want to use 100%. So sliding this to the end is 100%, right? This is 75, this is 50, this is 25%. So if you want to use 25% of everything you have in your wallet to buy Bitcoin, if you want to use 25% of what you have to buy Bitcoin, you will indicate there that you want to use 25%. Now if you want to use 100%, you will also indicate that you're using 100% of what you have to buy Bitcoin. Now when you do that, you now place your order. Right, I'm not signed into the platform, that is why I have this, but what you should have here is buy. Right, so the same thing is applicable to the sell section. When you want to sell, you either select the price you want to sell for, or you enter it manually that this is the price you want to sell for. Right, and then you indicate from your bar there the amount that you wish to sell for. Guys, give me a minute please. Okay, so you indicate the amount that you wish to sell for. If you want to sell 100% of your BTC, you select here. If you want to sell 75%, you use this. 50% you use this. 25% you use this. So you don't necessarily need to start entering the amount here manually. You don't need to do that. You make mistake. So once you enter the price of BTC that you want to sell, the price you want to sell for, just use the slide to indicate the value. If you want to sell 25%, 50%, 75%, or 100% of the asset you have, right? So that is that. Now when you look at this here, this is the chart. This is the what we call the chart, right? Now every green you're seeing on the chart indicates what you're seeing here, buyers. Every red you're seeing indicates sellers, right? So that is what you need to take note of, that these things you're seeing here, and the green ones indicate the buyers, the red ones indicate the sellers. Now everything you see here is called candlestick. We call them candlestick. So everything you're seeing here is referred to as candlesticks, right? So these are all candlesticks, and each candlestick has its identifier. By identifier I mean a name for it, right? So we're not going to naming candlesticks right now. We are going to talk about exactly what we have in the curriculum, right? So I want to believe we've been able to get an insight of what the platform on Binance where you buy and sell, what each of these things are for, right? So to properly go into TA, you need an app called TradingView. I don't know, I did not indicate, I forgot to indicate that you guys should get TradingView. But after now, just focus on the session. After now, you can download it, get the video, and then um, go over it again by referencing with what you have, right? Now, this is the TradingView platform. Now, if you look at it very well, you see that the only difference between this and what you have on the Binance platform is just the other book is not there. It's just purely the chart. That's what TradingView is used for. TradingView is what we use for technical analysis and nothing more, right? So you do your analysis here and then you go to the exchange to place your trades. Okay, so like I indicated earlier, these are buy these candles here you're seeing, every red and green you're seeing here are indicating buyers and sellers, right? Now each of these candlesticks has what they represent. Now by what they represent, I mean in terms of time frame, right? Now the market is open 24 hours of the day, and each of these candlesticks represents a particular time frame. Now when you look at my screen, are you guys following? Are you guys still following? If you're following, indicate in the message section. Let me be sure that we're all getting this. Are we getting this? All right, thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Luashio. So let's continue. Now, I was saying that every candlestick you see here represents a time frame. Now, by time frame, I mean I mentioned earlier that the crypto market is opened 24 hours of the day, unlike the stock market that do not trade on weekends, right? So, I'm going to explain what I mean by this candlestick representing time frames. Now, when you look at my chart here, when you look at this top corner that I'm pointing at, you see that it is pointing at exactly certain time frames of the day. Now, when I switch this to 15 minutes, what this is necessarily saying is that each candlestick you're seeing here, each one of them represents 15 minutes of price action. Each one of them represents 15 minutes. When I switch it to 30 minutes, it means that each candlestick represents 30 minutes of price action. Now by price action, I mean the struggle between buyers and sellers. We'll come to that, but I just wanted to explain what I mean when I'm talking about price action, right? So each candlestick here, like I said, represents a time frame, in this case 30 minutes. Now when I switch it to 1 hour, each one of them equally represents 1 hour of price action. 4 hours the same thing, daily the same thing, right? So that is what each of these candlesticks represent. So talking about the struggle between buyers and sellers, now by the formation of each of these candlesticks, what we are seeing here what we are seeing here is what we are seeing there is an indication of what is happening here, right? What we are seeing on this chart here is what is happening here, the struggle between buyers and sellers. Now, for each hour or each minute or each second that of this candlestick, what it means is anyone you're seeing that is green in color, it means that for this particular 15 minutes time frame that there were more sellers in the market than buyers. You are seeing this green. What this green indicates is that for the 15 minutes that this candlestick was formed and closed, that there were more buyers in the market. There were more buyers in the market than sellers. Now let's switch it to hourly so that you get a clearer picture of what I'm talking about. Now we are looking at each of these candlesticks as 1 hour. Now notice what happens right at this bottom when I hover around each of these candlesticks. Now you're seeing what it says there, 8 o'clock, right? We are seeing 12th December 2000. Now what it means is that this particular candlestick that I'm pointing at started at exactly 8 o'clock and will close when it's 9 o'clock. Now we will be here to observe what happens when this candlestick closes by 9 o'clock. You will see another candle will start forming again, right? Now what I'm necessarily saying is that for each of these candlesticks representing 1 hour of price action, currently, as we are seeing here, there are more buyers in this market than sellers. So buyers are winning this market right now. Now when you see it in red this way, it means there were more sellers in the market than buyers. So let's get this right. Let's get it right. I don't know, I should entertain questions. If you have questions, just drop it at the message session so that I can pick it up and we'll continue. So just drop, if you have a question, drop it there. I'll see it and then I'll respond accordingly. So each of these candlestick represents 1 hour of price action. Now looking at the curriculum, we said we'll be talking about what? Let me go over it again just to be sure. Okay, we'll be talking about understanding trading view, which is exactly what we're doing. We're trying to understand trading view and how it works, right? And then we'll also be discussing how to identify support and resistance levels and then trend lines, right? Okay, so we're on track. So I've explained to you what each of these candlesticks you're seeing here represent. For the benefit of those that are just joining us, I said each one of these candlesticks represents a particular time of price action. By price action, I mean the struggle between buyers and sellers in the market. In this case, in this CRV USDT pair that we are seeing, right? This is a struggle between buyers and sellers. Now I equally mentioned that these are different time frames and each of these time frames are represented with a candlestick. When we switch to 15 minutes, what we are necessarily saying is each of these candlestick we are seeing represents 15 minutes, right? Now we switch to 30 minutes, the same thing. We switch to 1 hour, the same thing. Each of them here indicates 1 hour of price action. Let's get it right. Now as you can see, I'm touching this one. It's showing you 8 o'clock. Now this candle started by 8 o'clock and will close once it's 9 o'clock for another candle to form. When we go to this one, you see that this one started by 7 o'clock and closed by 8 o'clock. The same thing with this one. This one started by 6 o'clock, just like that. If you go all that. Now if you equally go to the daily time frame, what we are necessarily saying is that each of these candle represents one whole day of price action. Now look at it. We are currently, today is 12th of December, so we are looking at this one now showing us for today. Now look at this one, 11th of December. This one is showing us price action for yesterday. Now what it means is that this is green. It means that yesterday that there were more buyers in this market than sellers. Now when we go to the next one, this one is showing us for 10th December. It means as at 10th December that there were more sellers in the market than buyers. That is why we are seeing it in red. Now the same thing is applicable to others. Now The size of the candlestick sometimes indicates the volume of buyers or the strength of buyers in the market. Just know that the size of each of these candles shows you or tells you the strength of either the buyers or the sellers in the market. So the smaller the candle, the lesser the strength. The bigger the candle, the bigger the strength of either the buyers or the sellers. Now if we switch this also to weekly, what we are saying is each of these candlesticks represents 1 week. Just like that, you will get to the end, right? So when you want to do technical analysis, there's what we call top-down analysis. We'll call it top-down analysis. What it means is you start from the higher time frame. Now you want to see what has been happening for the whole of today. You want to get a general perspective of the market for the whole of today. You want to see how the market has been faring for the whole of today. So you view this chart from the daily time frame. Now as we are seeing here, this is what we're seeing, right? Now if you want to see how the market has fared throughout the week, you switch it to weekly time frame. So this is what we have here. Now remember I said the size of the candle indicates the volume or the strength of either the buyers or the sellers. You can see that we have a small grey candle in this, which is telling us that this week really there has not been much buying in the market. There has been more selling in the market, even though the strength of buyers are a bit higher than that of the sellers, right? So that is what this is telling us. So the next thing we have there is what is called the candles, right? Now if you click here, it gives you, so if you click on this here, it gives you different types of candlesticks. This should not be a problem for you. We will only be making use of the candles and the lines. So those are the places you want to focus on, candles and lines. Those are the two things we'll be using more of. So that is that. Now the next tab that is tagged FS is where we have the indicators, right? If you click here, you see different indicators and strategies. So for you to start using indicators, you need to learn the basics of what we do in technical analysis, right? So I'm just taking us through what all this represent. In time you get to find out what all this what they actually do in the market. So that is trading view. I've been able to explain to us what these candlesticks here represent. I've been able to explain to us what this here shows us. This just tells us the time frame that we are looking at, right? So want to look at support and resistance, right? Want to look at how we identify support and resistance, right? Now to explain support and resistance, I'm going to cite this example so that we understand really what we're talking about. Now we all know how a bird flies, right? That a bird does not fly continuously, right? A bird flies and then it perches somewhere, right? Now it perches at that place to rest before it continues its journey to wherever it's going, right? Good. Now when we're talking about support, right? When we're talking about support on the chart, we're talking about the place that price action got to and found a balance or found a rest. Just as the bird is flying and got tired and needs to rest, it will look for a tree to perch on. Now that tree that it's perching on is serving as support for the bird. Now relate it to what we have here as price action, that there is a place price will get to and become tired, it will need to rest. Now that place it rests upon is what we call the support level. Now when the bird is flying, there is a point the bird gets to and the bird becomes tired and needs to rest, right? Now that point where the bird gets to and becomes tired is the resistance. The bird can no longer continue. The bird needs to rest to gain strength, to gather momentum before it continues its journey back to wherever it's going. Now relate it to this current price action we are looking at. When price moves towards the upside, there is a level it will get to and it will hit resistance, it will get tired and it would need to rest, right? Now, support and resistance is not necessarily used by people that are trading futures. You as a sports buyer, you that is buying and selling, or you that is looking to buy and hold for a long time in this market, you need to know what support and resistance levels are. Now let me ask us this. I believe this. So I'm going to let one or two persons, unmute their mic so that they can answer this question. Have you noticed that sometimes you buy an asset, it is the time that you bought that asset that the asset will start going down? Have you noticed that? So I'm going to allow, let me see who I will give the floor to. Austin, unmute your mic. If you have ever bought crypto in the market before, have you noticed that whenever, sometimes it is the point where you buy that the price will start going down? Have you noticed that? If you have, if anyone have, let them unmute their mic. Good, good, good. It is because you bought that asset at a resistant level. Right now, with the knowledge of support and resistance, it will give you an insight on what level to buy an asset and what level not to buy. Right now, if you buy an asset at a resistant level, you will notice that the price will start going down. It will take some time too before it will start going up, especially if you buy at a major resistance. There are resistance levels that will tag major resistance and minor resistance, right? If you buy at a major resistance level, you will notice that the price of the asset you bought will just keep going down until it finds support somewhere before it can continue, right? So that is exactly why you need support and resistance. So support and resistance is not necessarily meant for people that are trading futures, right? So in this session, I'm going to show us how to identify these support and resistance levels using some minor tools on TradingView. Those tools are also accessible from the Binance platform that we have just looked at, right? So that is that. So let's just, like I said before you carry out any technical analysis, you need to do what we call a top-down analysis. By top-down, I mean you start from a higher time frame to a lower time frame. Now, if you are a trader, you're potentially looking to start trading crypto. By trading, I mean you buy and then you sell for profit, right? By trader, I mean you buy and then you sell for profit. The way you do it is you buy at resistance support level and then you sell at resistance level. That is how it works. Your target as a trader is to buy when price is at support and sell when it's at resistance, because when it gets to resistance, there is 85% possibility that it will come back down to find support again before it continues. Now, if you're looking at what we have here, you'll be seeing that this thing is just going high, right? This thing is just going high, right? This is a market structure that we call higher high, right? Now, what we are seeing here is a support retest and continuation. What I mean is this: you see that this level is higher than this level, this level is higher than this other level, this level is higher than this other level. So this is what we call uptrend. When you hear the market is in an uptrend, it simply means this example that I've shown you here. When you hear the market is in a downtrend, this is what it means. When the price action is coming down, that is what is called downtrend. This is uptrend, this is downtrend. So don't forget that what you're seeing here is downtrend, this is uptrend, right? So if you look at it, price keeps forming what we have, what looks like a ladder. The price action keeps forming something like a ladder, as if it's climbing up. Now notice what happens when it got to this place. You notice that it started coming back down, again. it is because this level here, that is, there is a resistance here, right? That is why it got to this place and it started coming down. Now you see equally that it came down to this level and then it bounced back and started going up again. Now this level here you're seeing is your support level. This level you're seeing here is the resistance level. Now we'll show us how to easily identify support and resistance level, right, in this market or in a chart. Now to do that, excuse me, let me see. Now to do that, we have to zoom out. We have to zoom out, right? Okay, sorry. We have to zoom out. Now when we zoom out, we'll have something like this. Now for a support or resistance level to be valid or to be considered as a valid support or resistance, there has to be at least two touches on the line indicating the support or the resistance. Now please, Precious, Clement, turn off your video. We don't want to see you. We don't need to see you. Turn off your video. We don't need to see you. This is a live recording, so we don't need your faces. We just need to see the screen. Now, I was saying for a support or resistance level to be considered valid, that there has to be more than one tap on it, right? Now let's look at this level. We have something here. We have this, right? Let me draw a line here. Right? I have a line here. Now for this, the reason why this can be called a support level is because we have one tap here, we have two tap here, right? We have three tap here. Now this one will be termed that it broke below the resistance level, so we'll not mark that, right? So I've identified three taps on this line now that will make me call it a support level. So what I mean by, for a support level to be valid or considered as a support level, there has to be more than one tap. It means for that line you have to see at least two different places where there is an intersection on that line. In this case we have one, we have two, we have three. So this is a valid support level. Now if you don't want to stress and go all the way back, you can just come here and say you have this here. So this is a valid support level. Now going by the explanation I gave before, I said that when a bird flies and gets tired, it will need to perch on a tree. Now this here can be considered as your tree. This line I drew here can be considered as the tree, right? This price action here can be considered as the bird. Now you can see that from here the bird started flying, it flew and then it got tired and then it started coming down, and then it found support on this tree that we have here, and then it started going back up again. It got up and it got tired, it started coming down again, and it found support on this tree, in this case this line that we have here, and then it bounced and it started going up again. So that is exactly what support and resistance levels are in the chart. I hope we're following. So in this case, you can equally look at this point you have here and look for an intersection where price action has met here more than once. So for sometimes in chart you might need to make reference to a previous chart or a previous level in the chart to find an intersection. Now in this case we have, okay, let's use this for instance. We have this here. Let me just draw a line. Let me just draw this line here. Good. Now we have this here. We can see that this level here is serving as resistance. Price action came here, tried to break above it, but there was no strength. It was rejected and then it came back down. You can see it here again. So this level here can be regarded as a resistance. Now you can see it here again that it got to this same line and it came back down, right? So this is a resistance level while this is a support level. So support levels are below, resistance level are at the top. Now when price action successfully breaks above a resistance level, so it's a resistance level, yes, it will flip it to support. By flipping it to support, I mean convert it to support. Now let me show us what I mean. Let me just do this example. Good. Now as we can see from this line that I've drawn here, you can see that price action, this is a resistance level, right? This is a resistance, right? This is a resistance. It broke down and then it successfully broke above it here. It successfully broke above it here, and you can see these red lines, these red candlesticks that started sitting on that same line that it has gone above. Now what we call this is it has converted that resistance to support, right? Now it used the strength it had to break above the resistance, and then it needs to rest before it continues. That is why we're seeing this here. So this is what we call a retest. This is called a retest of a broken resistance level before continuation, right? So that is it. When a resistance level is broken, it needs to be retested, right? Price action needs to sit on it and convert it to support level before it continues up again. Now if you go back to everything we have here, you will see that is exactly what has happened. Now look at this. It broke above it, and then it sat as support, right? Let's go to another one again. Let's go to another one. You're seeing this. It broke above it and then it sat on it as support before it continued up. So this is what we are talking about when we are really looking at support, identifying support and resistance levels. Now for those of you, or everything that I'm doing here might be looking like might be looking like gibberish, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you an easy way for you to identify support and resistance level. Who is that? Please turn off your mic. Whoever that is, turn off your mic, please. Brian Gilbert, please turn off your video. I laid these instructions down that when you come in, turn off your mic, turn off your video. Please, let's stick to the rule. This is a live session. So, having said that, the purpose of this is to make your learning very easy. So I'm going to show you a trick that I usually teach newbies, to make it easy for them to identify support and resistance levels. Now we have this here as candlesticks, right? I need something with better price action. Let me see. Okay, let's use this. Let's use this chart. Let's use this. Okay, Muiwa, this is not a browser. This is the TradingView app. This is the TradingView app. Now, whatever you're seeing that I'm doing on the TradingView app can be done on the Binance application, right? Look at what we have here. You can see what we have here, right? Now, if you go to your Binance app, you see something like this. So everything that we are discussing here can also be done here, right? Everything, virtually everything. So I was drawing lines earlier on. You can see that I can equally draw lines here. As you can see. So everything we are doing there can be done here too, right? So but TradingView app is regarded as the application for technical analysis, right? So that is just the difference. Everything we are doing there can be done on this platform too. So let's go back to it. Now we are looking at this chart on the 4-hour time frame, right? Remember I said start from the higher time frame. Let's just do daily. Now we have this, right? Now we are looking at this using the candles. I explained what all these are, that these are candlesticks. Now for easy identification, for clarity, I want to show you a trick that will help you filter the noise you're seeing on this chart. It will filter the noise, all these long lines and everything you're seeing here. It will filter it and give you a simple chart. right? Now to do that, you switch to the line. You go to this place, the bar style, switch it to line. Now when you switch it to line, have you noticed what happens? Now it will filter all that long candlesticks that you're seeing that is flying everywhere. It will filter it and give you this. Now everything you're seeing here, it becomes easy for you to identify support and resistance levels. It becomes very easy for you to identify them when you have this. It becomes very easy to identify your support and resistance levels. So you can easily get your line and identify that, okay, this place is a support. The reason why we call it a support is because we have a touch here, we have a touch here, and we equally have this here. So this is a support level. Now you can equally mark your resistance. You can equally pick your resistance level. You can say, okay, I want to have a line here. Now if you have this line here, you have plotted a resistance level. This is, okay, sorry, you have plotted a resistance level here. This is a resistance, this is a resistance, right? So the same thing when you go to the top. If you do this here, if you do this, you have resistance here, you have resistance here, you have it here, you have it here. So this becomes valid. Now notice what will happen when I switch back to the candlestick. Notice what happens. Have you seen how easy it is? It just points it out for you without stress. So this becomes very easy, right? So the trick is switch to the line method for it to filter all the noise, so you can easily see levels that are touching. Now another thing is, look at my cursor. If you're looking at my cursor, you see that it's pointing, it's showing, giving me a horizontal and a vertical line. Now using your vertical line, you can easily, just trace by looking at it. To identify your levels, you can just do this before you plot your lines. You can say, okay, I have this here, I have 1, 2, I have 3, and the rest of them, and then you can go ahead and plot it, right? You have this here. Now this becomes valid. This becomes valid. Are you seeing it? Stretching it to the end. Now we have this here. We have this here, support. We have it here, support. We have it here, support, right? So it becomes support. Now looking down on the lines I have below, looking down on this level here, this level, now you see that this same line that I've drawn here, that is serving as support for these ones above, was once a resistance for these ones below. Now look at it, resistance, resistance, right? It resisted here and then it was pushed back. Look at it, resistance, resistance, resistance. So it now explains that, what I was trying to say before, that when a support level, when a resistance level rather, is flipped, it becomes a support level. Now you can see that this was a resistance level. Price action managed to break above it, and then it was converted to support, right? So that is it. The same thing is applicable to everything you're seeing here, right? So when you extend this line you're seeing here now, when you extend it, sorry, when you extend this line to the end, right, what will happen is, if price action managed to do everything it does here, and it managed to climb above this line, what we'll see is it will first of all come back to it as support before it goes back up. So you as a trader, you as someone that is buying an asset in the market, either to hold or to trade, to buy and sell, you don't want to buy an asset when it's currently at resistance level, because now let's look at practical examples. Let's look at practical example now. Look at this now. Imagine that you bought your asset here. Imagine that you bought here now. Now have you seen what happened afterwards? It came down. So you bought at what? At $8, and then price came down to $4. That means you have lost half of the money you used to invest in this. right? Now, but if you have the knowledge of resistance and support, and you were able to identify your support level and you buy in at this level here, see what happens. See where it went to. It broke above it and continued up. So you'll be in profit all the way to this place. So even if price action does exactly what we have seen here, by converting this line of resistance to support, you are still in profit. You will not panic because you bought at a lower level. You did not buy at a resistance level, you bought at a support level and you followed it through. Now, even if it comes down a bit to retest this the resistance level and convert it to support and continue back up, you will not worry yourself. The only way you become at loss in this market that we are looking at is if this price action that went up came back down again and went below the price that you bought. This is when you start having losses in this trade. But if you are able, sorry, if you are able to buy at a support level and you follow it to the resistance level, you will be in profit even if it decides to come down a bit before it continues back up, right? So I hope I kind of hope what I'm explaining makes sense. So anyone that have a question, let me see if we have any question. Okay, my browser. You're talking about my browser. My browser is Brave. I'm using a Brave browser, but the platform that I'm running this teaching on is TradingView. It's available on mobile and it's available on PC. So if you have a mobile phone, you can use your mobile version of TradingView. If you have a PC, you can use the PC version. I'm using the app. There's a web link for TradingView. So if you don't want to download the app to your system, you can easily use the web view. So I'm going to allow 5 persons to ask questions. So if the 5 person I mentioned do not have any question, we'll skip to the next 5 persons, right? So that's what we'll do. So let's see. Let me see. um Okpeyemi, you have been here long enough. Do you have any questions so far? If you have a question, unmute your mic so that I can hear you and address your question. Okpeyemi, you have the floor if you have any question. If you don't, Sammy Favor, I don't know. Do you have any questions so far? Michelle, you have a question? Obafemi, I'm taking this according to how you guys join the session. So if you don't have any question, we'll just keep going up until anyone has a question. Obafemi, do you have a question? All right, you have the floor. Let's hear your question. You don't understand? Okay. Now, let's good. What you do is this video is recorded. You have reference to it, so you can just go back to the previous session of the video. I was hoping you have a different question, but whatever takes us back to what we have discussed, should this video is recorded, it will be dropped. You can go over it again and again until you better understand. If you still do not understand, the floor on the Telegram is open. You drop your questions, it will be attended to. So for the sake of time, let's just continue. I think I should skip the question. Let's just continue. Okay. So far I've been able to explain to us how you identify support and resistance levels. Now, so far we have been looking at it from the horizontal aspect rather, right? But bear in mind that we'll also explain the vertical and horizontal resistance. So, but having said that, let me equally, please mute your mic. I don't know who that is. Let me equally show you an easy trick, a very easy trick for you to be able to plot your support and resistance levels, right? Now, to do that, you need a tool that we call the Fibonacci extension tool. The Fibonacci extension tool. You can do that. You can use the Fibonacci, or you can use your line tool. This is your trend horizontal line tool. Now if you pick the horizontal line tool, the horizontal line tool can be seen here when you have your trend line tools. When you tap on this, you see it. This is it, the horizontal line. So if you pick it, you can easily do this. You can easily place your horizontal line above every peak that you see that has more than one contact. By more than one contact, I mean you have seen this here, you have seen this here. So automatically this is a resistance. You have seen this here, you have seen this here, this is a resistance. So the same thing, you can just keep plotting it that way. You can keep plotting it that way. You can just be doing that for, you can just be doing this. We are using the horizontal line tool. Now, with what we have done so far, we've been able to plot certain support and resistance levels that are valid. Now, let's start from the top. We can see how many touches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a resistance level. This can be considered valid as a resistance level because we see 1, 2, 3, 4, at least more than 2 taps on this line, right? So it's a resistance, and you can see that so far price has not been able to go above it. That is why it's a resistance. There's a blockage here, right? Now let me explain the concept of having more than one tap at a resistance level. Now if you want to break down a wall, right, now you cannot tell me that you will hit that wall with a sledgehammer once and the wall will be broken. Now in this case, the resistance here is standing as the wall. Now for price to be able to break above it, it needs to hit it more than once, right? It needs to hit it consecutively to be able to cross it. Now imagine this is the wall we're talking about. It has hit it more than once. So thereby this is the resistance level because we have seen that it has more than one hit, right? So this is the wall here. This here is the wall. And for you to break above this wall, you need to hit it with your sledgehammer more than once. You need to hit it as much as you can so that the wall can become weak. Now when the wall becomes weak, what happens? It will fall down. Now it is as a result of that weakness that price is able to break above it. Now let's cite this example from this line here. Now look at this line we have here, right? This is a wall now, right? This is a wall we're talking about. Now look at what happened. Price tried to break above it. One, it failed. It pushed it down all the way to this place, right? Now this is the next time it came again. It found support at this level. It came back again to try it again, to hit it. This is second time. This is second attempt. You can see what happens. It broke back down again. Now it came back a third time to try it again, and it did what? It was successful. So it's a resistance level needs to be, needs to be tapped more than once before it can be broken, right? So the purpose of this whole lesson we are having right now is to, one, teach you what support and resistance levels are, how to identify them, how to plot them on your chart. Two, to teach you levels that you can buy and levels that you can sell, right? Now you can buy at support levels and sell at resistance levels. That is just the trick. For those of you that were able to go through the time I talked about RSI, right? I mentioned that you want to buy when the RSI is below 30. I don't know if anyone remembers, but I did mention that you want to buy when the RSI is at 30 or below, and you want to sell when it's at 70, right? Now let's cite this example. Let's cite this example here. Look at this. Look at this here. Look at this here. Now going to our RSI, you see that this is what we have there too. We have it here too. Now going by the level, you see that level is what? That level is 30. It even came down to 27.97. Now if you buy if you bought this asset when the RSI was low here, it means you equally bought when this price action was at what? At support level. Are you seeing it? Now let's look at this here. Now let's look at the highest it got to. Now this is the highest it got to. This is the peak it got to before it was pushed back down. Now let's go to our RSI also. Now by the indicator you see that we have that peak. Sorry. Now looking at it from our indicator, you see that we have that peak here. Let me adjust this. You see that we have that peak here. Now look at the RSI. Look at that vertical line that is pointing the interjection. Now you see this here as the peak of resistance that it got to. Now compare it to your RSI. Are you seeing where RSI is at? 90. So if you bought here and sold here, you would have made profit. And then you wait for it to come down here again, and then you bought, and you wait for it to get to the top again to cross 70, you sold, you're in profit. You wait for it to come down here again, you buy, you wait for it to go up again, and then you sell. So these are just easy ways for you to be able to trade the support and resistance level. In this case now, I've incorporated it to the RSI that I earlier taught in the general group, right? Now look at the low. Look at the low of the RSI here. Look at where we have it at price action here. Look at it. You can see the vertical line that is pointing the interjection between both. Now you bought here low, and then you sold here high. Are you seeing it? So you would have taken profits here before all this price action that came down here happened. Now you would have waited for it to come down again to the 30 or below 30 level, and then you bought, and then you'd have enjoyed profit when it got to the top at this place. Look at it. So these are just easy ways for you to trade support and resistance levels, and in this case incorporate it with the RSI. Now I mentioned earlier about making it easy for you by using the Fibonacci tool. Now to access Fibonacci tool, we'll go to our toolbar. This is what we call the toolbar. This is the toolbar. So you go to our toolbar, you count 1, 2, 3 on the third bar there. When you tap it, you see a lot of tools here. What you are looking for is Fib retracement tool. This is the one, is the first one on the list, so it's the one you want to pick. Now to use the Fibonacci tool, you want to start from, if the market is in an uptrend. By an uptrend, this is what I mean, like I explained earlier, the market is going up, that is uptrend. If the market is coming down, that is downtrend. Now in this case, if you want to draw your fib on this particular price action, this is an uptrend, right? So you draw, you tap, you press it here, you place your fib here, and then you draw it to the highest point that price action got to, and then you place it. Now this has automatically highlighted major support and resistance levels for you. Now let's look at it. Let's look at it critically. Look at this resistance 1. Now if we activate candlestick, you see what happened here. Look at it, resistance 2. Are you seeing it now? Look at it, resistance. Look at it, resistance, resistance, support, support. Are you seeing what I'm showing? So support, look at it. So using this tool, it will be easier for you to plot your support and resistance levels. So this is the trick. The first thing you want to do is determine if the market is in an uptrend or a downtrend. If it's in a downtrend, you want to start your fib tool from the highest level that price got to the lowest level. But if the market is in an uptrend, you start your fib from the low to the high. We call it swing low to swing high, or swing high to swing low, right? That is what we call it. So you can see that by doing this, this has automatically plotted the support and resistance levels for you. Now to make it easy for you, what you need to do is, like I said, always zoom out. When you zoom out, you'll be able to see things clearly. You'll be able to see the direction that the market is going, if it's in an uptrend or if it's in a downtrend. Now, the first thing you want to do is, like I said, top-down analysis. Go to the highest time frame of the day, which is the daily, select it, switch your bar style to line. Now you will have this, right? Now then you pick your Fibonacci tool, you tap from the swing low to the swing high. Remember I said for it to be valid there has to be more than one tap. So this is our more than one tap at the top. So when you do that, it has automatically labeled your support and resistance levels for you. So you can see this is support, this is resistance, this is resistance, this is support. The same thing is applied on every line that you see, and then you can switch back to your normal candlestick to be able to see things clearly. So currently this EWT is at resistance levels. It has a resistance level, as you can see here. So if it breaks above it, what it needs to do first is flip it to support, find rest here before it continues up again. So sometimes you see me indicate things like this in the chart. So this is just what it means. It needs to break above it, test it as support, gain momentum before it starts going back up again. So that is exactly how it is. So with this tool, with the Fibonacci retracement tool, you will be able to plot your support and resistance levels easily. If it's difficult for you to, if it's difficult for you to use your horizontal line, to just do it manually yourself, right? You can, if it's difficult for you to do it manually yourself, good, you can just use your Fibonacci tool. You can just go here, 1 2 3, pick your Fibonacci retracement tool, take it from the swing low and then to the swing high. Good, it has done it for you, it has plotted it for you. So you can manually start adding your lines. You can pick your horizontal tool, you can drop it, pick it again, drop it, pick it again, drop it, pick it, drop it. So you can do this if you want, but if you don't want, you can easily use your Fibonacci as your support and resistance levels. Now we have plotted everything here, right? Notice what happens now. Let me delete the Fibonacci tool. Are you seeing it? So we have the lines, we have the support and resistance lines. So the rule, the number one rule to trading support and resistance or buying any asset is buy at support level, sell at resistance level. It's as easy as that. The down line is support, the up line is resistance. Support, resistance. It flipped, it became support, the upper one becomes resistance. So that is what happens. Even as price breaks above this, it will not go in a straight line like this. No, the market does not go in a straight line. What you will get is something like this. This is what you get, right? Now what this is showing you is this here, support. This here, this line here becomes resistance. Are you seeing what I'm showing you? So the market will never go in a straight line. If you go back and trace it, you will not see anywhere the market just shoots up in a straight line. So look at what I'm trying to say here is, now this price went above this resistance level, test it as support, go up, break above this resistance, test it as support, go up. So this is how the market movement is. This is how the market moves. The market does not move in a straight line like this. No, it does not. Anybody that tells you that is not telling you the truth. So this is what you get: up, pull back, up, pull back. Now let's compare it to what we have. Are you seeing it? Take for instance from this session. Are you seeing it? Up, pull back, up, pull back, up, pull back, up, pull back. That is what you keep seeing. That's just how the market moves. Look at it. Up, pull back, up, pull back. It does not go in a straight line. So for those of you that are looking for Bitcoin to just be going up, it does not work like that, right? It goes up and it goes down. Look at it. So that is exactly how price action works. So I want to believe that one way or another we've been able to achieve a few things tonight. We've been able to know um, we've been able to learn what all these things we are seeing here on the Binance platform, what they do or what they are. We've explained what order book is, how to use it to place your buy and sell order, right? Now we've also explained trading view, right? We've explained trading view. I explained the time frames to you, right? Now this is the pair, just as you have on the Binance platform, you have it here as the pair. It's the same thing here. So you have the time frame, you have the different types of candles. This is the toolbar. This is the toolbar, right? So if I want to clear this entire chart, if I want to reset this chart to the way it was before I came, I just use this delete here. Everything will disappear. So this is your toolbar, right? This is your toolbar. So I equally mentioned that all this we are seeing here are called candlesticks, and each of them represents this time frame that we are seeing here. I've equally explained successfully what support and resistance levels are. I explained it using a very simple example of a flying bird, gaining strength when it perches and continues its flight. So just for us to find it very easy, to do. I've equally told us that as a trader, you want to be buying at support levels and sell at what? Resistant levels. So if you bought this asset at 7.9 naira and you sold $7.9 rather, and you sold for $12.5, you've made at least you've made a profit of $5 from this trade, right? So that is exactly, you buy at support, you sell at resistant levels, right? So that is that. So one way or another, the video will be made available for us. The one of yesterday, the sound is a bit bad, so I'm going to do a post recording. For it so that we get it. So this is TA 101. This is just the basic. If you want to go deep dive into technical analysis, we have tools. You can consult YouTube, you can pay professionals to teach you. So what I have successfully done tonight is to give you the basics of what technical analysis is all about. So the market, the entire financial market, be it Bitcoin, be it crypto rather, be it stock, any financial market, this is the same chart you get, right? Now let me show you an example. Let me show you an example of what I mean. Now let's do this. Now you're seeing what we have here. This trading view. The reason why it's recommended is because it doesn't matter the financial market you're trading, be it stock, be it forex, index, anything you're trading, you can do that from this trading view. So this trading view is a common app for all financial markets. So if I switch to the stock tab, you see it starts showing me everything in stock. Now this is Tesla. Let me open the Tesla chart so that you see that it is the same candlestick that we had in the previous chart. This is crypto. Now you can see this is crypto, this is stock. So the only difference here you'll be seeing is that you'll be seeing much more candlesticks here than you are having here. So this is what I was trying to tell somebody some time ago in the group, that volatility in crypto happens faster than in stock. So you can see how you can easily pick out each of these candles. You can count them manually, but going here you cannot easily count these candles. So that is just a major difference between the stock market or the crypto market and other market. The crypto market is more volatile. By volatility we mean price action happen faster in crypto than in any other financial market. So we have come to the end of this section. We've had this for maybe about an hour and 45 minutes. So the video of this session will be made available in the group so that you can go over it again and again until you get the basic. So if you have any question regarding what we have done so far, you can um, reach out to Jay, or you can drop your questions on the Telegram. I'm going to leave the Telegram group open. Please don't spam the Telegram group. Don't post links in the Telegram group. The purpose of that group is strictly for learning. So if we start spamming it, we that are anchoring you or that are trying to help you will miss questions. We'll not be able to point out questions that people have asked over time. So please, we are all adults, even if we are not, all of us are not adults, even if we have kids, let's use our common sense to do things and know that this group is mainly for learning. So whatever you're going to post, whatever question you're going to ask has to be related to the reason why you're in the group. So the group is not going to be shut down, it's going to be left open so that we can guide you through your journey in this space. So that's why we're going to leave it open. So thank you all for being a part of this training. What other trading analysis do we do to further the market? You have different pairs in the market. When you go to your trading view app, you have different pairs. If you want, you can just click on this plus sign. You have it on your mobile, you have it. Just search for any pair. Let's say you're looking for avas. If you search for avas here, it will bring out avas for you. So when if you don't want to do this, go to the crypto, go to um what do I call it? Go to Binance. You see different, you see all your pairs. These are all your regular market pairs. Search for any one you want. When you click on it, it will bring out the chart for you. As you can see here, it will just bring out the chart for you. So you that don't want to download the TradingView app, you can easily do that from your Binance app. It's easily accessible from there. Everything we have done here, everything we have done here can be done exactly on the Binance app, right? It can be done on the Binance app or on the Binance web platform. It's basically the same thing. Look at the chart we've been dealing with over there. That's what is loading now. So you're seeing it. This is .btc. So if you just pick here, search for any pair. You can pick any pair you want and use it as an example, right? But make sure you're picking the .usdt pair or the .btc pair. Now if you're picking any assets in comparison to BTC, that is what this means, that you're comparing the performance of this to BTC. So if you have it in USDT, it means you're comparing this to USDT. You're getting your values in USDT for clarity. So for the sake of clarity, always use the USDT pair. Use the USDT pair so that you don't get confused, right? So one way or another, I hope we've been able to achieve something tonight. Let me see if we have any other valid question there. Um, Use the Fibonacci line with a graph for clearer areas of support and resistance. I've answered this question. If you want, go over the video again. You don't need to draw me back. Is the TradingView app free? Gabriel, the app, there's a free version of the app. Moses, can you turn off your video? We have seen enough of your face. Thank you. This is a recorded session, so you don't need to review your face. So Gabriel, the app for TradingView is free to use, but there are limits to the things you can use. You can use all the tools here for free. But the indicators are paid for. So for now, you don't have any business with indicators. You are only using the tools that you have here. So yes, it is free to use. You can download it from Play Store. Can you explain some indicators for us? Sorry, Charles, I do not trade with indicators. I'm a pure price action trader. I don't use indicators. If you want indicators, I can point you to YouTube videos that you can learn indicators from. So I don't use indicators. Every indicator, they are unreliable in TA. So if you want to do well in technical analysis, don't use indicators. Don't learn your trading using indicators. Indicators only react when price action has happened. They are not 100% accurate. So that is why I do not support anyone using indicators on their chart. So if you want to use indicators, I can provide I can provide links to videos that you can use to learn indicators. Aside RSI, what else do we need to know? I've told you what you need to know as a beginner. I've told you what you need to know as a beginner. The purpose of this, let's not forget, is for newbies. So I cannot start teaching you indicator as a newbie. You need to learn price action, you need to learn support and resistance. Everything that is an indicator on this chart, every indicator in the market reacts to this support and resistance that I have explained to you now. So I've done that. I've showed you an example by comparing it to the RSI. So every indicator in the market, every indicator you hear reacts to price action. So if you learn price action alone, automatically you will understand any indicator. So learn this. Forget about indicators. The reason why I pointed out RSI, because personally I find RSI to be more of a tool than an indicator. So that is why I particularly taught you guys RSI. I see RSI as a useful tool, not an indicator. Even though it's under the indicator section, I see it as a tool, not an indicator. So please don't rely your learning on indicators. Using indicators is like you wanting a shortcut. There is no shortcut to learning this. If you use indicators, you keep flopping. So learn from the basics that I've taught you. If you want to go higher on technical analysis, there are materials online that you can refer to. There are professionals that you can pay to teach you advanced technical analysis. So that is that. Giwa, thanks for explanation. My question is, since we are buying at support level, how are we sure the market will move at an uptrend? What influences the chart? What influences the chart is the behavior of buyers and sellers in the market. That's why I said do a top-down analysis. Find out for the whole of that day, has there been more buyers than sellers? Has there been more sellers than buyers? So if it's a day that there has been more sell than buys, it means particularly that the price action will keep dropping, right? So if there are days where there are more sellers, it will keep going up. So first thing you need to do is zoom out, determine what market you're in. Is the market making an uptrend? Is it trading at a downtrend? Is it trading in consolidation? By consolidation we mean, is it trading sideways like this? Even if it's trading sideways, it's still pointing out to support and resistance levels. So everything you do, everything you learn when it comes to trading relies on support and resistance. So if you learn support and resistance from the basic, take it to the advanced level, you will do well. You will do well. You don't need indicators, right? Every indicator rely on how can we use T and R in shorting. Obafemi, I don't understand the kind of questions you're asking. I don't understand. I particularly mentioned that this is not a class for futures trading. This is not a class. If you're asking me longing and shorting, that is your business. I'm only explaining buying and selling levels to you. So I'm not explaining, I'm not teaching you futures. So if you want to learn futures, you can learn that on your own. Futures trading is not on the curriculum, in case you have not seen it. So we are not discussing futures. Longing and shorting is futures. Please, I want to know about retest. I've explained that consecutively in the video. So your questions are already answered in the video. I'll make it available. Watch the video over and over again. No need to ask all the questions. You mentioned there is a major and minor support resistance level. How do we know if a particular resistance is support? Now if it's a major support, you'll see that price action would have hit it only once and reacted in a bad way. Now when it hit it once and it gets a forced pushback, now let me find an example. Now look at this, for instance. we have resistance here, right? Now you can see that price went all the way from here and got up to this level and it was rejected. Now this is where it found itself later on, right? So you can see that when it got here, the next high it made was lower than the previous, so we'll call this a lower low. When you see price action starts giving you a lower low, one low becoming lower than the other low, it means the market is in a downtrend. When you see it giving you a higher high like this, it means the market is in an uptrend. So when you see this happen, this is a major support, this is a major resistance rather, because this resistance level has not been tested since let's count, the last time we saw price at this level was here, as you can see. So that was like May. Going by the daily chart, the last time we saw price react at this level is May. This is May. Now May to August is May, June, July, August, 4 months. So it has been long. You can see that nothing has happened between this space here, right? So this becomes solid. Had it been we have consecutively seen taps on this line, it means it will be broken. It will no longer be a major resistance. Now because we did not see any of such tap for a period of time, for a very lengthy period of time, we were able to identify this as a major support, a major resistance rather. And you notice what happens when price got to that level. It was pushed back down to this level, see 18, and then it was pushed back to like $8. So this is a major resistance. Now when we have a fresh support level, it means that is a major support level. So these here are minor resistance because we've had previous taps on it. So you can call this, you can particularly say this right here, from here to this place, sorry, you can say from here to this place, right? You can call this line a minor support. This line here is a minor support because we have seen price action tap it consecutively. One, sorry, we have seen price action do this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a minor support. This is a minor resistance rather. But this here is a major resistance because price for a lengthy period of time only tapped it once. So there's no way it will break above it by that first tap, right? There's no way it will break above it. It will always push it back. So it needs consecutive taps before the breakout can happen. So I hope that that answers your question. So every other question you have, please refer to the video and then you drop your questions in the group. Relevant questions, not questions relating to futures market. I'm not teaching you futures, please. So if you are using what I have taught you to trade futures, fine, that is good. But the curriculum says basic on technical analysis. That is what we have done. I'm not teaching you futures, please. I will not teach you futures as a beginner. I will not do that. So I want to thank us. We can continue, with our questions and answer in the group while I work on getting the video across to us. So thank you. I'm going to end the session now so that we can all have a rest. Thank you very much.